Hello and welcome to the SEO Chick Lead Strategy Session. Today we're going to talk about how you can easily create a lead generation website, how to attract targeted leads. We're going to talk about basic elements that must be included in your website and how you can automate your online marketing tasks. I'm Rhonda Clark, developer, consultant, and entrepreneur. I started creating websites in 1998 before the internet started getting popular. I had gone to school to get a degree in programming, and then I discovered the web. It didn't take long for people to find out that I could create websites and to start calling me. Now, it was never my intent to have a website business, but my daughter said to me one day, "Mom, you should start a business doing websites since people keep coming to you." So I did. My daughter passed away in 2012, but she is the inspiration behind my web success. So then I learned all I could about web development, website tools, and techniques I could use for clients to service them better. I took additional training. I went back to school. I sought mentors. The problem was many of the people I encountered were small business owners, and it was taking me more time than they had money to spend. However, I still wanted to be able to help. I just had to figure out a way that I could help the small business client without utilizing so much of my time and being compensated properly and at a price that a small business starting out could afford. Then I got an idea. If I could create a product just for that market, then this would be the best way I could spread myself around, so to speak, and I could indirectly help small business owners. There are a number of online automated systems. You may have heard of them. Systems like Lead Pages, Wishpond, Squarespace, or Wix, and these are just a few, and they allow users to create their own website. This gives business owners a sense of independence, and that's a good thing. The problem with this solution is that many of them have some kind of learning curve or are not as user-friendly as they say they are, and small business owners just don't have that kind of time. Sure, you could have your staff be responsible for figuring out the tool, that is, if you have a staff. And if you do have staff that actually has the time that they can devote to it. In this seminar, I will walk you through just how easy it can be to set up a website in less than a day. All you need is content and you are well on your way. But first, let's talk about the basic elements that should be included in your website. When I'm building a website, I make sure to include the following in my planning and development at the very least. There are 8 key website elements: the domain name, the business location, legal stuff associated with your website, website security, website content, design and images, email systems, and automation. We're going to talk about all 8 of these individually. These are elements that you need in order to quickly generate leads to your website. The website domain name. I like to tell every client to be responsible for purchasing your own website domain. You want that control because you want the website registered in your name. If your website developer or manager purchases that domain for you, then the website is actually in the website owner or purchaser's name. So this is the reason why you want to purchase your own website domain. I had a client several years ago. He handed a website developer some cash and all of his credentials, including his 501c3 information, and had him to set up a website for him. The guy purchased the website in his name. The guy ran off with his money and credentials, And it took me quite a bit of time to chase all this stuff down for the gentleman. Eventually, I got it back, but the reason you want to purchase your own website domain name is so that you don't have to chase your web developer down for important information that you should have in your possession. I also had another client where I purchased their domain. I purchased several for them. And then it was becoming, initially I was hosting it for her, but that became impractical. So when we moved her website properties to where she had total control of them, I had to transfer the domain names out of my name. And this was a bit problematic because sometimes they don't always get this information correct. And this information has to be correct with the registrar, or your domain stands in jeopardy of being taken down by the registrar if that information is not matching. So do yourself a favor and you be the person responsible for purchasing any domain that you own or uh, that you consider related to your business. If at all possible, when you're purchasing a domain, make sure your domain is related to your business. For instance, if your name is Joe and you own a bakery, you might want the name joesbakedgoods.com or joesbakery.com. Of course, if you have a unique name, then chances are the domain name you select to register is going to be available, and it's not going to be any competition with you trying to search and see if your name is available. I selected the name SEOchick.net because I wanted to talk to clients about SEO topics on that domain name. And so if you go to SEOchick.net, that's exactly what the website will be about. The third thing to know about your website domain is to never let your domain name expire. That causes you, in a sense, to almost have to start all of your SEO efforts over again. It takes you back down to the bottom. So you'll want to do yourself a favor in this aspect of registering your domain name for, say, 3 to 5 years. 10 years, if at all possible. You can register in advance for as many years as possible. And another free tip I'm going to give you is set your domain to automatically re-register every time it is time to renew. And you'll want to go into your dashboard and double check that auto renew is set for your domain names, because you never want your domain name to expire. Keep your credit card information updated, because your domain name will expire if your credit card information is not updated. Many times you get a new credit card and you forget to change your online um, places where you are being automatically debited for services. So just to keep from losing your service, you want to make sure your credit card information is good as well. Your business location. Now, this may sound very elementary, but depending on the kind of business you have, you will want to have your physical address and phone number prominently displayed on the site. Never cause your users to have to look for your email address, your location, your mailing address, or any way that they can get in touch with you. Customers are skeptical if there is no way to get in contact with the website owner. Okay, things you will need to be legally compliant. All websites that collect information from users, such as an email address, or they're filling out forms information, or other information, you are required to have a privacy policy. There are free online privacy policy generators. You can do a Google search, or I may provide the link to privacy policy somewhere on any of my websites if you have services with me. And if you're selling online, you will also need a terms of service agreement. And those are things that will keep you legal. They tell your customers what you'll be using their email addresses for, whether you're going to sell that email address, because If you sell a customer's email address, they have the right to know, and that will determine whether or not they are going to give you their email address or not. Also, um, if you're giving away something free, or if you are hosting a contest online, or you need their email address because you are going to send them email on a periodic basis, the privacy policy should state this information, and you need to let your customers know, or people that are coming to your website know, that you don't plan to use their email address in any harmful type of way. So you want to make sure that you tell your client everything that is true about how you're going to be using their email agreement. And in the terms of service, you'll want to be sure to tell them how they can utilize your website or the services that you provide. Be sure and provide things like a refund policy and things like that. These are things that your website developer or person who manages your website will handle for you. If you have a person that is managing your website and they are not, then this is something you'll want to make sure that they include for you, because that is a very important part of having a website. Website security and upgrades. When owning a website, it's very important to keep your website up to date. That is for security purposes. There are all kinds of viruses being written all the time. I mean, every day, all the time, all through the day. And regular updates help prevent some attacks that can occur as a result of an outdated website. Upgrades, things like technology upgrades, when new things come out, those just ensure that clients are able to view the latest technologies on your website. In some cases, you want to be sure and set this according to your audience. In some cases, you may be a huge, um, or your client may uh, be be you may have a huge client database that uses a certain web browser, that if you upgrade it to the next version, it's going to put all of your clients in jeopardy. And so this is something you'll want to consider with upgrades. But as far as security updates, you'll want to make sure to get those regardless to whatever technology comes out, because security protects you. So just to make sure we clarify this, you have website security, which protects you from things like viruses and spam and hackers and people that will break into your website. Then you have upgrades. This has to do with technology, all the latest and greatest bells and whistles. Upgrades are not necessary to do all the time. You will want to do upgrades based on your specific customer audience that is viewing your website, whether they be all desktop users, whether they be all mobile users, things like that. But again, that's another thing for your website developer to handle for you. That's not a worry that you should have. the the other thing you want to do is prepare your website content well in advance to creating your website property. You want to prepare your content uh, by deciding on what purpose you want your website to fill. And in this case, those of you who signed up for this webinar, you are interested in attracting business leads. So it may be safe to say that you want a lead generation website, for instance. And there are certain criteria for developing a lead generation website, as there would be, for instance, for developing a training website, a store, or an informational type website. Then think about what you're offering for sale or service. What value does it provide to your customer? You want to write all those things down, everything that you can think about, and then summarize it into one sentence. When you summarize everything that you can think of that is the gist of your website, then you'll want to use that one sentence summary as the main headline for attracting customers to your website. That's probably one of the most key uh, portions of setting up a lead generation website. And then all of the rest of the content or information that you gathered, research, and stuff that you wrote down to include as content on your website, use all of that in some organized fashion as content. I usually draw out my home page and what it'll contain, and I'll draw out little boxes of how all the links will work and stuff like that, and that still works today. I do it on a piece of paper and then I apply it to the computer. You want to gather all your website assets, your video, your images, your written content, brochures, blog articles, and anything you think you have need of, and just keep that aside. Just keep it organized because you'll need it as you're building out your site. And believe it or not, if you gather all of your content in advance, it's going to make building even a 30, 40 page website just that much easier. And it keeps your web developer from having to wait, and they can finalize everything that they need to. Another thing to think about all of this content that you're gathering, sometimes it's impossible to develop a website without knowing what content will be included. So that's the other reason you want to have all of your content and you present that to the person that's going to be handling your website for you. SEO, or search engine optimization. It is the process of making your site ready for the search engines to read and helping your customers to find you. The websites that I set up come pre-built, ready to handle SEO, and then they are the process is actually built into building a lead page. So in this instance, you don't really have to think about it. But SEO is huge. For SEO, you want to include keywords or words related to your product or service on your pages. This is how people search to find you. So think of what it is you think that customers will type in the search box when they are looking to find you specifically on the web. And these will be your keywords. You don't want to include words that have absolutely no relation to what your website or your web page is going to be about. This will cause Google to penalize your website and place you at the bottom because your site becomes irrelevant to what people are searching for. So the pages that contain the most relevant information based on what a user types in, those are the pages that Google is going to show in the search engine when a search is performed. And finally, you want to be sure to provide the most accurate information about your product or service on the page. This is part of what Google looks for, and it helps them to find the closest match when they're searching for you. High quality images can make or break a website. I have seen websites that had very little technology in terms of bells and whistles and things moving, but they had really, really nice graphics. If at all possible, you'll want to have professional images that represent your product or service well. And you want to have, you know, additional artwork, little artsy type design. A really, really, an image really is worth 1,000 words. So if you can have professional images on your website, you'll want to do that. And it doesn't have to be huge. Sometimes less is more. You'll want to have an email system because you'll need to be able to communicate with your customers on a regular basis. Um, to generate leads, an email system will allow you to collect and store email addresses so you can send regular emails to the customers. Once you collect those email addresses, you may want to send them a coupon every month. You may want to send them training tips. May want to send them information about your latest and greatest products, or familiarize them with events and things that are going on. And so a good email system will allow you to be able to do that. Examples of these systems are MailChimp, GetResponse, Aweber, and Constant Contact. Now, I've used all of these, and for the small business owners starting out, MailChimp may be the friendliest, or at least the most economic, because it gives you so many. I think you can get up to 2,000 subscribers before there's even a charge for it, and even once you do get into the paid version of it, it's still relatively inexpensive. The things you can do with an email system is put, people on auto responders where it just automatically sends emails for you once you load them into the system. Which leads me into automation. You want to automate processes that happen on a regular basis. And these are things like your email, we just talked about, blog posts. You can schedule them, and they will be automated. I would automate it. I would automate 12 blog posts. That means one a month, and then this will make it easier for me to add articles in between, and it keeps your website updated on a regular basis. Google also looks at that, and this is another thing that can contribute to lead generation, because you keep your website updated, it keeps your website relevant and at the top of Google. Social media posts, you want to automate those. If you have a business that depends on social media, if you know anything about social media, it can take a lot of time. Many people hire specific social media people just for the purpose of posting and keeping their social media up to date. Alternatively, if you're not able to do that, you can schedule your social media to be updated automatically uh, in advance. And you can also schedule your website content to automatically post to your social media. So that's something you can have set up. Other website processes, like it might be uh, a form that you fill out that you want it to automatically, something to automatically happen with that form once it's completed on your website. That's something that can be automated. And there's a ton of things that you can automate, but if it's something that you find yourself doing over and over again, chances are you can automate that function. Now, this list is in no way exhaustive, but it'll help you avoid the problems that you don't need while trying to grow your business. And again, all of these things together are what helps to generate leads. And again, there are tons of other things that can add to it, but if you have these basic things in place, I have found that I have ranked at the top of Google just with these things alone. Now, in addition to that, um, everything I just told you is a lot to take in, but I have most of what I've told you plus some additional information in a comprehensive step by step written marketing action plan, and it's summarized in this little book, A Small Business Guide to Google Search Engine Marketing. It's a quick read. Probably about 55 pages because there's not fluffed, and it's actually hands-on things you can do. There's video tutorial for showing you exactly how to do some of these steps. The rest of it is written, and you can get it on Kindle. You can read for free if you have a Kindle account or Amazon account, uh, the Amazon Prime. Or the book right now at the time of this recording is $2.99. And so that's the price. I don't know how long I will leave it at that price, but at the time of this recording you can get it for $2.99. And it literally is a business plan, written business plan for your online marketing strategy. Owning and operating a website can be quite time intensive and costly. And as a small business owner, you need to be able to keep up. You want to be at minimum able to keep your site updated regularly. That's the most important thing so that you're not attacked by viruses or spam or hackers and things like that. You have the option of hiring a professional to manage all of this, or you might be tasked to do it yourself, which can be overwhelming if you try to do all these things on your own, because there's things like hosting, there's things like your files, protecting those files online, and you got to update all of those files and keep, the hackers out of your site. And people don't consider this. There's things like compatibility issues you have to determine, because just because this nice feature works on one website, it may not work on yours because of other business operations that you have and other uh, installs that you have on your website that may not be compatible with this other neat feature that you want to integrate into your website. So you want to avoid things like that. A successful website is updated with fresh new content on a regular basis. Now, while the ideal solution might be to hire a professional, the good news is all of what I just mentioned to you can be done for you in a semi-automated fashion, meaning you don't have to do all of this stuff yourself. With the right tools and resources to help you, you can build a website presence that generates leads for you, and you can do it in less than a day. I'm going to walk you through just how easy it is to create your own website, and you can do it today if you want. You can create a website today with the new product that I've built. It's called the Leadsy Landing Page, and it is a platform that I've developed that literally is designed for small business owners to get a website up and running quickly. With my platform, you get everything you need to create an online presence that generates business leads. There's SEO built into it, and there are 3 levels. There's the lead page level, where all you have is one page, and its sole purpose is to generate leads. There's the microsite, where you want a small website, and both of these, the lead page level and the microsite, can be used individually, standalone that is, or in conjunction with a website you already own to generate leads back to that website. And again, the microsite is like a small website of about 3 pages, and it offers the ability to put a few blog posts, and that's just to be used as a quick way of building a small website on your own without having to hire a web developer. And then the full web, you have the ability to use this platform to walk through completing your entire website. That is, if you have the content to hold a full website. And you can find out more on the platforms, but um, the 3 different levels, it shows you the prices: the lead page at $50 a month, the microsite at $100 a month, and the full web at $199. And what it does is it breaks down the cost of building a website into monthly payments, so that you're not having to pay a web developer. If you've ever had web development services, generally there's going to be half of the website cost, whether it's $3,000 to $6,000. Half of that is going to be due up front, and half of it is going to be due once the website launches. This In this manner, you can have your website go up and running and generating revenues for you, or um, functioning where clients can see your online presence without having to wait, 6 weeks to 2 months, sometimes 3 months, depending on what all you're having done when you're having a full website built. Now, imagine for $50 a month, generating, say, 5 customers a month. If you've got 5 customers off of $50 a month, and those 5 customers, they generate a minimum of $50 in monthly business for you, then your lead, uh, then this service has paid for you for your purchase well over. You have reaped and I'm getting tongue twisted here. I've been talking a long time. You've generated your return on investment many times over. So let's talk about today you can get the lead page account for an amazing webinar discount just because you're watching this webinar for $20 per month, and that's for the first year. And after that, it goes back up to the $50 a year. Now, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the built-in marketing blueprint. You're going to get website security. And by the way, that built-in marketing blueprint walks you through step by step the things that are going to put your uh, website presence on a solid foundation. You're going to get technology upgrades. That's done for you automatic. You're going to get training and support through the dashboard. You're going to get webinars, periodic webinars, things that I think about that might be helpful. I'll do a webinar and send you an email link to the webinar, kind of like the one that you're doing today, but in an abbreviated format. You're going to get SEO built into the platform that automatically, things that automatically occur that keeps you from having to think about SEO as you're building your lead pages and your landing pages and your microsites. And you're going to get a free bonus. That is, if you sign up because of today's seminar, you are going to get the microsite. You're going to get automatically upgraded to the microsite. And this is for $20 a month. And you can sign up at seochick.net/leads.html. Now let me just walk you through the platform. Okay, so you're going to get, with the lead generation, uh, the lead page will get you a page that looks like this. There will be different versions. It consists of the top header, or they call this big section here a hero section in the web world or in the developer world. So you'll get, so this consists of the hero section that has a nice big graphic, and it has a catchy headline that you can use as a call to action. You can change this out, and a button. You can take them to a sales page, or you can take them to somewhere else, some other action, a video or something. So this is your the main call to action on the page. And then you have the opt-in area. This is how you're going to generate your leads. And you have the content area. This content area, you can put any kind of content in you want it. It has a nice headline that you can change out. You can add images and graphics. This section here is freeform. And then you have the featured products and services. You can change the title of this section to whatever you like. It could be books, it could be actual services, and you'll have the ability to place an image as well as a short description. I built this with real content in it so that it gives you a guide so that you know what kind of content to put in all of the boxes, and it literally is a fill in the blank website. And then you have your business or your website, office location, information that you can add. This area here is dynamically generated, so it could be Joe's Bakery office location, or whatever your website name is, office location will be populated dynamically. You enter your office location and the city and state, and it shows up here. You can put an image of your office location, or you can put a promotional graphic here. And then here's the map that is auto-populated when you enter your address in the Google Maps field. So there's two places to enter your address. You'll enter your address here, and then you'll enter your address to populate this map. And then you have the option of putting 3 widget areas at the bottom, and there's a place that will show you. I won't cover that in the tutorial, but you can use this, or you can leave this area blank. Most people for their landing pages leave it blank, but you can post things like coupons, you can post links to places and things like that. Now, let's let you take a look at the back end of how easy it is to edit this. Literally, you will take this content and you will fill in the blanks. Here, the back end is very easy. You can edit the hero section or the banner. It even tells you what sizes. You can get your graphic designer to create the banner for you. You can use a banner or a slider in this section, depending on which package you purchase. I think the microsite does come with the ability to add the slider. So here's where you will add an image, or you will add a slider in this section, and then your call to actions can be changed right here. Here's where you change that text. Instead of saying register now, you can add some other text. Then you can um, change the URL for where the button is going to. You can change the color of the button, and as you can see over here, the button was blue. And then the main headline, you saw the main headline here. That's where you edit this. You change that out. And let's move to the content area. So they're divided up into sections. Here's your main content area and the headline that I was telling you about. This is some example text, and you can just begin typing your headline. Okay, and this section right here for your main content is separated out. You can add an image. You can add your freeform text to replace all of that text content. You can change the color of your headline here, and you can expand or collapse any of these sections so that you can concentrate on the section. Then you have the feature boxes section, where you display 4 benefits and features, and it tells you the sizes to enter the images. So the feature boxes section has a title, and I title mine products and services. You can title yours whatever you would like. And there's 4 feature boxes, and they're all divided. You can edit each of them individually, enter the image, make sure the image follows this format in order for you to get the best results. And then finally, for the location and for the map, I labeled it that section title location and directions. Here's where I typed in my business location, the city, state, and the zip code. And the phone number, you'll want to type it just like this, 800-555-1212 with no spaces. And then you'll add an image, whether that's the image of your office or another promotional image. It could be a coupon or some other promotional graphic that will go there next to your map. Here's where you type in your address to populate your map. Once you type in your address, it changes the map here. And that's basically it. You have the opt-in button that you can change the background color for it as well. And when you're done, you just click save, and it replaces all of this with your information. And so now, because of this webinar, we just went through it relatively quickly, but when you sign up on the website, you will go through step 1, step 2, and step 3. So there's 3 steps to getting this all set up. And again, you get all of this today for an amazing webinar discount of $20 per month. And you'll find a coupon code at the bottom of the video. So thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something today. Whether you choose to purchase services or not, you have been equipped with 8 key strategies that will help you to increase business leads and set your website on a solid foundation. Until next time.